Hey there, Chem 1301, PJR here. Well, I guess we're really digging into things now. And this is our first meat and potatoes lecture. So, I wish it were a more riveting topic. Unfortunately, it's required, and we need to talk about the course outline. The course outline is an extremely important document for any university course. It should, if it's a good outline, answer any administrative question associated with the course. Okay, here's the topics we're going to discuss today. Quick overview of things, then we'll move to important dates, and we'll follow these topics clockwise around the graphic. So, just so you're aware, a course outline is actually a contract between yourself and the university for the course in which you've enrolled. Now, maybe you didn't know that when you were signing on, but it is. And it's what you agree to when you take the course. For those that want to know, this is the official description of Chem 1301 in the university calendar. Now, we talk about this university calendar. What does that even mean? It's a book, basically, and you can look this calendar up on the registrar's website. It, too, contains a pile of very useful information, especially in the student rights and responsibilities section. Strongly encourage you to bookmark that document as well as the course outline on OWL. Now, if you're taking Chem 1301, you must have grade 12U chemistry or equivalent. 1024 is an anti-requisite. Now, if you don't have the prerequisite or a special permission from the dean, the registrar is pretty clever. They know these things. They'll deregister you from Chem 1301 and it will be deleted from your record. Okay, a couple of important dates, but some advice as well. Number one, stay on track. I already highlighted this, but refer to the course outline as often as possible. Refer to things like this table to remind yourself what is required and what is coming down the pipe for you in Chem 1301 or any course. There's lots and lots of self-help scheduling software out there. Choose one, implement it so that you're not surprised when something comes due. Now, a couple of key dates. First things first, we have a mastering chemistry assignment. Now, maybe you don't know what that is yet, but you will shortly. And there's lots of information on OWL about this, but this just gives you the heads up that there are things coming due in the next couple of weeks. We also have a quiz. And don't worry, it's not worth too much or anything. It's on administrative matters of the course, i.e. this course outline. It requires you to look at it, inform yourself about the administrative matters of the course so that when questions do arise, you have the tools and the abilities at your fingertips to answer the questions efficiently. Labs will start Monday, September 21st, or at least that's the first week for those who are registered in person and online labs. Stay tuned for your actual start date. Just because labs start that week, it doesn't mean you will be in the lab. We have a midterm assignment. This is a take-home assignment, and you'll notice the large date range. We don't anticipate anybody having problems completing this with such a wide range to complete the work. And we'll give you more on that as time gets closer. And lastly, we have the add drop date deadlines, and I don't anticipate anybody's going to want to do that for Chem 1301. Why? Because it's an awesome course, and everybody's going to probably do just fine. But those are the dates in case you need them. Okay, some expectations. We all have them. I as the instructor, Professor Booker and Professor Lee is the instructor, Dr. Shahid is the instructor of the labs. We all have to meet expectations, not only those of the universities, but the ones that you have for us. And similarly, we have expectations of you. Here they are, listed in this nice tabulated form. There'll be some very specific ones from the course. And of course, they translate over to some professional skill development. I'm not going to go through these step by step. I'll leave it to you to peruse them. But one thing I want to remind you, establish good study habits immediately, right today. Don't make excuses for yourself as to why the work isn't getting done or why you're not doing the work that you should be right at the time you should be. Do not procrastinate. It's an extremely dangerous thing to start. Now, there is no question many of you will require supports, and those supports may come in different shapes and different forms. We know this, and so we've got a really robust system in place to help you with any supports you might need. Firstly, if you're a student who needs material in a different format, please let us know. We need this course to be as accessible as possible. There's also the Accessible Education Office, and they're really good at getting material together so that students who need things in a different format are able to learn just as well as anyone who doesn't. The Accessible Education Office contact is listed here. Now, there are of course students with disabilities, and there are students who observe a wide variety of religious holidays. Absolutely wonderful and no problem. For those students whom this impacts, please click on this link. It takes you to a section of the university calendar. There's that university calendar again. And inform yourself about what the university's policies on these issues are. Now, sometimes support is because learning and studying is different at university and is difficult. So, are you having trouble studying? And do you need to explore other study strategies that fit specifically for you? Well, take a look at the Learning Development and Success Center. People there are ready to help you and improve your learning skills. Check out the webpage and contact the staff at Learning and Development Center. I've left this to last because I really want to highlight it. It's extremely important. Our emotional and mental well-being are critical when we're at work, at school, hanging out with people. We need to be in a supportive environment. There may be times where you're extremely overwhelmed and you do need help. There is no problem with that. You should not be ashamed of it. And importantly, we need you to reach out. Please check this website out for the University Health and Wellness website. And if you're in a crisis situation, this website gives you a list of numbers you can call for immediate assistance. Now, of course, if you're in a crisis situation, the last thing you're going to be doing is digging out this presentation and looking up those numbers. So why don't you look them up now? Maybe bookmark it on your device. Maybe program a number or two in. Probably in your 4 years at Western, you're never, ever going to look at that contact entry again. But if you do need it, it's going to be there and it's going to be readily available. Important. Reach out if you need assistance. Okay, course progression. Listen, I've been in university as a student or as a professor for almost 25 years. Not quite. I'm not that old. And believe me when I tell you, you will never be able to catch up on a course's material in the last week of class. The stuff we're learning in Chem 1301 is very similar to what you've learned in high school. Some topics we extend a little bit more. The difference is that it comes at you like a fire hose. So it's important you stay on top of your course material. Keep up with the material as it's released, and importantly, schedule your time and make the commitment to complete your course material so you do not fall behind. In the course outline, we have a table that outlines the course topics and their approximate release dates on OWL. This is just a partial table. The full version is on page 9 of the course outline, so go and have a look. But bookmark this. Put them in your calendar so you know this is when you are going to be required to start atomic theory, complete periodic properties, and so on. Keep up. The labs. The labs, of course, like everything in 2020, is different this year. Labs are offered both in person and online. And students who are enrolled in the mixed in-person online lab sections, those sections are, say, 021 to 054. They will perform labs 2 and 3 in person, and labs 1 and 4 will be performed online. If your lab section is 098, you are online only. All 4 labs will be completed online. Here's the experiments. So we have some lab practices, and you get your hands dirty making some interesting compounds. And of course, we take a look at carbonates, and we do something called qualitative analysis. You'll learn all about that as we progress through the course. How might the progress in the lab look? Well, if you're in person, this is the flow chart you should be thinking about. Notice they start with very similar steps. The most important one is read the lab manual. Don't think you're going to be able to complete anything without informing yourself about the subject first. It will be critical that you submit a pre-lab exercise. Of course, you'll be able to view the videos online and ultimately submit what we refer to as the video exercise. Don't worry if you don't know what that is yet. You will. There'll be more information coming. We just can't give it all out all at once. Things change a little bit differently for the in-person labs at this point or versus online only. But at the end of the day, you submit your data sheets for grading. How that all gets done, we will let you know in due course. There's still a few weeks yet before the labs begin. So get settled in. Now, after posting on September 21st, what does that even mean? Well, I'll tell you. What that means is for those students doing in-person and online, you will have a lab section, which we just talked about. Say, for example, your lab section is 021, which means you'll be on a Tuesday. It doesn't mean you're going to be in the lab every Tuesday. It means you'll be in the lab on a very specific Tuesday. And what we will do is we will place everyone in lab subsections. All students will be informed on what those subsections will be, and you'll follow this schedule for the day that you know you'll be in the lab. Again, more information will be forthcoming on this topic so that everybody knows where they're supposed to be and when. Now, if your lab section is 098 and you're online only for the laboratory experiments, here is your progression schedule, which is on page 13 of the course outline. All right, this is the slide everybody always waits for. How do I get my 95% in Chem 1301? Well, here's how it is. Notice there's that OWL quiz on administrative matters. You can see it's worth a huge 1% of your overall mark. Take the time, read the course outline, do the quiz, get the mark. Mastering in Chemistry are a series of online assignments. These online assignments have already been created, and we'll release them as per the schedule in the course outline. And completing each assignment is worth 2% apiece for a total of 20% of your overall mark. This is low-hanging fruit, people. Do the mastering assignments because you can easily get your 20 points by doing the assignments at the times you're supposed to. The lab is also worth 20%. 4 experiments are worth 5% each. And of course, here's our big take-home midterm assignment. This will be available, as I said, on October 28th. And look, you have a long time, 2 weeks, to hand it in on November 11th by 11:59 p.m. This will be a hard cutoff too, everyone. We can set this up on OWL, and if you're there at 12:01 on the 12th, OWL will not accept it. And we, sadly, cannot take it if it's late. Lastly, will be a final exam. This will be a proctored final, and ultimately, this will be scheduled by the registrar. So stay tuned. Now, some might say, well, okay, that's all great. What do I got to do to pass Chem 1301? Well, hopefully everyone here is striving for more than just 50.1%. But here's the criteria for passing Chem 1301. I'm not going to read it back to you. You guys can all do that on your own. But one thing I want to highlight, there's some kind of, rumor, lab lore, that professors just curve marks or adjust them summarily across the board. Believe me when I tell you, that does not happen. We do not bell curve. We do not adjust. What you earn is what will be reported to the registrar's office and ultimately will appear on your transcript. And to avoid disappointment, please don't even ask us, because we cannot give extra assignments to increase a grade. We can't give extra work to replace a poor mark. And we can't give you missed tests, makeups for missed tests and assignments. So please, just do the work on time as described in the course outline. There's that organization thing again. All right, some odds and ends. Mastering in Chemistry. It's an online platform that will be utilized to help you hone your problem-solving skills. And we'll be providing information on how to sign up and register for Mastering Chemistry. But there is a schedule already developed for Mastering Chemistry, and you will see here's the assignments as we have them laid out. They follow the workbook chapters for the Chem 1301 workbook, and you can see when the assignments will be released and ultimately when they will be due. So put that in your calendar. I strongly recommend you give yourself an alert, maybe 2 days before the assignment is released, so that you remind yourself, I have a Mastering Chemistry assignment coming up. I need to make time for that. All right, there's always these questions if you missed a course component. Now, importantly, if you are ill and cannot complete an assessment, follow all the guidelines the university has for illness reporting and contact academic counseling when required. Now, you may have to contact your faculty-specific academic counseling office. Not everybody in Chem 1301 is in the Faculty of Science. But importantly, when it comes to illness and missed items, missed course items, do not contact the instructor. There is literally nothing we can do for you. We are not allowed, we're doctors, but we're not that kind of doctor, you know what I mean? My grandmother was always disappointed in me about that. But nevertheless, we're not able to assess how sick or if you're sick. And in fact, we're not allowed to. That is the job of the academic counselors, so please don't contact the instructors. Here's a few specifics though. If you've missed a midterm, okay, we'll shift weight of things you've missed to the final exam, right? Remember, there is no makeup midterm assignment. We cannot give makeups. If you've missed an in-person lab experiment, you have the option to complete the online version. If you complete the online version in place of the in-person version, that is absolutely no problem. It's your prerogative to do that. However, the lab hand-in dates for your in-person lab will be the one that you have to follow if you ultimately do it online. If you've missed the final exam, please do not do that. You really don't want to do that in your first term. So set some alarms and stuff so you wake up, you know. But if you do miss it, contact the academic counseling office ASAP. It's extremely important. There is a one exam forgiveness policy at Western where if you miss an exam because you slept in or you just got confused about your calendar, they'll give you one pass. Oh, let's not use that word pass. They won't pass. What I mean by that is you don't get 0 on the exam. Rather, what they'll do is they'll let you write a special exam, which normally happens for Chem 1301 the very first week back in January. However, you don't want to use your free ticket the very first term you're at university. So please stay organized and write your exam. Here's the contact info for science academic counseling and everybody else who's in a different faculty. You can Google where your faculty academic counseling office is. All right, so this wraps things up. I really mean it. Keep this course outline handy. Bookmark it on your device. Print a copy. Print 6 copies. Paste them around your room. Put them on the fridge in your apartment, whatever. If you have any question about the course in terms of the administration of the course, dates, how things will run, marks, whatever, check the outline first. Okay, so by this point, surely you've seen all our intro videos. You've looked at this video now for the course outline, which hopefully no one fell asleep through. And you've also reviewed Dr. Booker's video on strategies for success in Chem 1301. So let's sit back, buckle up, and dig into the real material. Talk to you guys soon.